Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. I've been making some progress. Apparently I have too much time on my hands this weekend because I'm doing another episode. So here's what's happening. I went ahead and set up the assembly table because I want to make one of those gates that I can't pronounce. This one. And we need a silver or a redstone iron chipset, a regular gate, and pulsating chipset for that. I have a few pulsating chipsets in there, but I figured I'd go ahead and make a few more. I looked up the specs on the conductive pipe. Golden conductive pipe, it uses 0.01% of its energy for every block, and it has a energy limit. It has an energy limit of 1,000 MJ per tick. And you know what I say to that? Challenge accepted. I think we should do it. It says the only way, well, okay, it says the limit's very hard to reach, unless there's a loop in the circuit, which is why my thing exploded. I was talking about in the last episode or two. Basically, I had another row of conductive pipe right here, and loops are bad. So if you're gonna branch, that's fine, but since discovering that, I decided to set up the assembly table to drain all the lava and then make a bigger tank, put it underground, set up the cart thing and fill it up, and move the engines down there, and then run the conductive pipe just under the surface and only have it poke up where it needs to. Then it can also be used to run the tree farm and the peat farm that I set up over there. Speaking of which, let's take a look at those. I don't want to show you the peat farm yet because, well, it's not really a surprise, but I made a couple of, well, some things happened that I didn't plan on, as they sometimes do. We're doing awesome on saplings, and I'm still gonna, even though I found out about this power thing, I'm still gonna do the steam stuff because I want to just play around with it. I set a few barrels up here, and the way I had to do this is oak. I put some birch saplings up there, and then this one's oak. So basically it comes down, and I don't think it's 50-50, but there's a chance it'll go either way. Well, then it comes here. If it's birch, sure, it goes in, but I don't have any more birch up there, so it doesn't matter. And then if the oak doesn't go here, it has to go here. So the thing's working pretty well. The peat farm is self-sustaining, except that I still have to put bog earth in the machine. And I haven't refilled it yet because I wanted to show you. It turns to dirt, and then the peat bog takes the dirt and replaces it, I guess. But I was wondering what would happen if it took the dirt and then or if it took the peat and didn't replace it, whatever. However it happens, if that block basically disappeared and then the water went everywhere. But anyway, I set this up in a loop, and here's the problem with this. Basically, how it goes is the turberry, that's what I'm going to call it, the turberry. The turberry, it spits all the peat out. And I had to put an iron pipe here because these things automatically eject any ash that they create while they're running. Well, the bad part about it is when the peat comes out of here, as we'll see right now, it goes into the thing or it keeps on going. Well, when the ash comes out, the ash would try to go this way or that way. So the other bad thing is the peat will actually go in where it doesn't belong. So basically, if it didn't go in there, I don't know if there's a way to prevent that, but basically it just goes all the way around, and I had to put an iron pipe basically to keep everything going the right direction, because when this one kicks out its ash, it has a chance of going either direction, and same with that one and same with the other one. So basically these are just like one-way tracks. If something starts going the wrong way, it gets pushed back in the direction it needs to go. And if the peat didn't go into the ash slot, it would be awesome. But it's not an excess amount, so it's really not a huge issue. Well, maybe it could be. If you let these fill up with ash, the engine only spits out the new ash it creates, I think. See how this one came to the right? I'm so glad it did that. It's going to hit the iron pipe and it's going to have to bounce back, and since the engine won't accept ash, it's got to go up into the chest. So I still have a surplus of peat even though all these engines are full and they're continually running. So that is awesome. The only part that is not automated at the present time is the bog earth thing. And I've made enough of it. It's kind of a pain. I just do it with a bucket, and I don't really do, I guess I could do water cells, but I just do it with a bucket, and I make like 9 buckets of water, put one in, and then um, so you're going to use some resource unless you use a bucket, and that takes forever. So I probably have enough tin that I could set up a way to either make cans or cells and then autocraft the thing to feed it. As long as it doesn't overflow, that's the thing. Um, so unfortunately, this is a problem. That's really the only problem, except I don't know. It's not exactly pretty. I mean, mechanically maybe, but aesthetically, I'm not sure. I haven't made this pretty yet. I just kind of, threw it out there. The bio engines ran out, so I just let them go. So the other thing I tried to do, and it failed miserably, and I have a possible explanation. I thought it would be slick because I'm trying to, like, not necessarily cheat the system, just trying to make it work as best as it possibly can. I put a wrath light hanging in the air, much like that one, directly above the tree farm, and nothing grew at all. The forester thing had catalyst in it, and everything had humus and saplings. Nothing grew. So then I looked up the wrath lamp on the wiki for, what is it, factorization? Well, apparently if you put a wrath lamp over a quarry, the quarry tries to mine the light blocks from the wrath lamp. So I think that's what I read. It's something like that. So it stands to reason if the quarry thinks it's a block, then that would prohibit trees from growing if the wrath lamp is too close. Thing is, if you move it farther away, it doesn't light it up, so the stuff doesn't grow at night. So maybe I could try to put one like right here, because the light goes out 8 blocks before it starts to fade, so that would be plenty of light for the saplings. I may try that, but the way that it was, it failed miserably, but it was a great idea. So I'm not really sure what to do about the peat farm situation since I found out about the capacity of golden conductive pipe. We obviously are going to need the saplings to convert, but we don't really need the peat for anything because all you really do with it is run peat engines. So what I could do is, I guess, I can make a few more peat engines and run a quarry with it, but then, we have a redstone energy cell for that, so what would be the point? Quite the conundrum. Alright, so let's do this. We'll just make 2 of these for now, since we have 2 of each of these. If we put them in here, we're going to see now we can, wait a minute. Oh, I have to do the gate. My bad. Okay. Let me check the gate. I don't want to work on the pulsating chipset right now unless it's almost finished. No, it's not. Let's make some gates out of that, and then where did that other one come from? It's really weird. If you look at this, it's only using 12, but there's 16 in the pipe, and none of this is doing anything. So I'm not really sure why that happens. It did that to me before, and I don't really like it. The gate takes a while to do, and the actual end product takes a while to do as well. I'm assuming I've never made them, but like the ore gates and stuff, I imagine those take even longer, or they take more power. Either way, so I had to do something about the creosote here. I made some more cans. I'm gonna run out of those eventually, but when a coke oven fills up with creosote, it will no longer make any more coke, and you don't want that. Did I not put that in the peat bog? You don't want that. You want them to run all the time. So basically, I made a 3 by 3 by 4 tank down here. It'll hold 576 buckets, which should be plenty. I don't think these things generate that much creosote, but I figure what I can do with these other cells, I'm gonna need to make some rails at some point. Um, and I made all the tank pieces. You probably saw them in here. So I'm gonna have to use that creosote to make the wooden ties for the rails, and the rest of it I figure once the boiler, the steam boiler gets going, it's very inefficient while it's heating up, but then once it reaches its temperature, it doesn't use as much fuel as it does to get it going. So I could either use the creosote cans to make it waste energy, not waste energy. Use the creosote cans just to get rid of some of them, and then I can use whatever's in that tank. So I also ran some waterproof pipe to the geothermal generators in there, since I don't have teleport pipes anymore, as you know. So those are all good. The only thing we're gonna have to do is, once this drains and I build the new tank, we're just gonna have to cart everything in from the nether. And speaking of, there's something, and I want to see if it happened yet. I actually had to restart my game before I started recording, and it probably unloaded the chunks. So, yep, nothing yet. I'm not going to tell you what that nether wart was doing in that chest. If you know, that's great. Please don't spoil it though, because if it works, I want it to be a kind of a surprise. So really, all that we need to do now is hook up the still and the fermenter. And really, what I wanted to do was put them in line so that it goes from the fermenter to the still, then to a holding tank, and it doesn't. I guess I didn't put it in here. Um, Basically, there's going to be no tank in between the still. No, the still and the fermenter. It goes through the fermenter, then through the still. Then it'll go from the still straight to a holding tank, and that holding tank will then pump to the firebox. That's the term I couldn't remember last time. It's called a firebox, and that is the bottom of the boiler. So this pump is really pretty useless at the moment. All my Twilight Forest animals are chilling over here. We're going to have to use that pump to give water to the steam boiler, because you can let that thing run out of fuel, but you cannot let it run out of water. That is very bad. I think it'll actually blow up. I want to make some more coke. I don't think I have. I don't have that much coal. Let's go see if any of our gates are done. All right, beautiful. And the thing is not working anymore. Okay, so let's put these back in here. I want to make this gate, and I'll just probably just chill, and then we'll be back when it's done. It's only going to take a minute. All right, here we are. This is a beautiful thing. It reduces lag a lot, I think. I'm pretty sure it does. The cool thing about these gates is I'm not sure if the normal gate will do it. Let me just pop that out of there. Is that engine going to keep going? Oh, if it does, that is such an exploit. I think it is. Well, there you go, everybody. If you put a gate on a redstone engine and you tell it to keep going, you shift right click to take a gate off the pipe without breaking it. And then it looks like your engine keeps going. Cool. I got to get that other gate. I don't want to lose it. Those things are too expensive. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one running because that's that's awesome. We'll put the special gate on this one. So what we do is we just right click, we put it in there, and you got the energy pulsar. That's what moves items through the pipe. So this may not be a very good example since the pipe is full, but you've got most of the same options as you would ordinarily with the other gate. But you've got the energy pulsar, so basically, I think I have another pipe I can show you. See how it's pumping it in there without an engine because the energy pulsar's on. And I'll prove it to you because it's not just like it's going to fill up from the other pipe. Now it's making a liar out of me. I don't like that at all. Okay, let's do it this way. We're going to have to let that pipe empty, I bet. No. I can do this all day, lava. Alright, there we go. Now we should have an empty pipe. So there's nothing in that one. If we right click the gate and do energy pulsar, then it starts pumping and you have no need for a redstone engine, which is really awesome. It is an alternative to the, well, I guess the automatic wooden transport pipe would be the alternative to this, but this is really expensive to make. The other one, it only takes a pulsating chipset. It doesn't take any of the iron or redstone things. So basically, I'm just waiting for this tank to drain, so I can replace it because I don't want to waste the lava. And if you destroy, I think it's the middle block on the bottom. I think that holds the data. That's what Direwolf said anyway. He thinks that's the case. So when you take away that block, all the data for the whole tank goes away. So that's a 6 high one. I want to make the maximum size one 7 by 7 by 8. It takes a really long time to fill up, even if you run 2 carts. But basically, it won't be that big of a deal. I've got a world anchor here, and I've got a world anchor on the other end in the nether. Not that we need it right now, but when we start running the carts through, we will need that for sure. So before that happens, I probably ought to make my rails and stuff, and my unloader and my loader, so that I still have still have power to run that stuff. Because if you recall, you cannot put lava in those engines with a can or a cell. And I want to try something real quick. And I need to eat really before I do that. I had planned on making about 13 or 12 of those gates. So once I have the materials, I will do so. I'll probably make as many as I can with however many ender pearls I have. So I probably don't even need those in there yet. But yeah, that thing is still pumping. So there's your exploit of the day. That was totally unintentional. I had no idea that would happen. I can't say what'll happen if you unload your world and then reload it. So let's find out. Then it stops. So not that great of an exploit, obviously. But still, um, if you're going to be around for a while, you could cheat it and start it up and then let it go. So I want this one to run a lot. What I was going to say earlier, I got sidetracked, is the cool thing about these gates. I'm not sure if the normal gate does the same thing, but you can make the pipe wire. So if you're running combustion engines, you can basically put a gate on here. I think it'll go on that piece of pipe, and you can say if the engine is red, cut off the fuel or send out a redstone signal, or cut it or whatever. So since we're out here, I was actually going to skip tonight, but since we're here, and I don't think I've been at this, probably 20-ish. I don't know. So let me go fire up those engines first of all, and we'll probably get shot at while we're out here. As long as we don't get blown up, I'm okay. Oh, I guess I turned them off, so alright. And I need to make a ladder or stairs or something. So I guess I'll just put this right on top of here. And I'm going to need to make sure that that has a catalyst in a second, because I need to see if the trees grow or not. I also want to see how fast this thing runs if it's hooked up to a ton of MJ like we have over there. So if you can do it, and if you run this with something that doesn't need to warm up to give you a ton of MJ, it might not be a bad idea. If you don't want to run the Forester, I don't know how much MJ it uses, but you could conceivably put a timer on the thing. If only we had red power. You could put some sort of a timer on this so that the engines would only kick on, say, every 10 minutes after the trees have had a chance to grow, and then the Arboretum and the Forester do their thing, so they do it all at once. That would also be really handy for over here, because we could run I don't know for a fact if this will spit out straight into a pneumatic tube, if it'll go anywhere. It might take I don't even remember my red power things anymore. It's not the block breaker. It's not the retriever. I don't remember what it's called, but basically it takes things out of chests. So what you may have to do is put your chest next to the turberry. Sounds so weird saying that. Put your chest next to the turberry and then use your red power machine to pull it out and distribute the peat that way. That would require no iron piping things, I imagine, unless these engines kick their ash out into pneumatic tubes. We're going to have to do a lot of testing when red power comes out, because I don't know how it interacts with these forestry machines, since you don't have to put a redstone engine on them. Alright, so I think this thing might be too high, because I don't see anything anything growing. Let's move it down a block and see what happens. Kind of disappointed about that because I wanted these things to be growing all night, and I don't really know if they do that even if the forester is running. So more than likely, since the thing goes out 8 and then it goes down as well, this probably also won't work. Nope, it does. Look at that. So whether or not this thing works at night, I just need to test, but this thing sitting here in the middle will not interfere. So that's fantastic news. So that's going to do it for this episode. Next time I hope to have this drained. I'm going to set up a quarry in a few minutes, and so that'll process some ores, so that'll take some of it. But it's not really draining as fast as it could. So next time I think what we'll probably do is hopefully be building that tank and setting up our transport system. Even though I set it up, for like a tutorial, we'll do it from start to finish. I don't remember if I did it actually from start to finish in the tutorial. So we'll do that from step 1 to the end, just so you can see any unexpected hindrances, I guess you could say. So that is going to do it for now. I'm going to sit here and make some more gates that I can't pronounce, and next time we'll do something else. So if you wanted to see anything, I have a ton of resources, and basically, like I said, I'm just using this to test things, except at cost. So I can't think of a better thing to do with resources. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.